Listen, we're a football school, but we're also an everything school.
War Eagle Auburn fans, and welcome to the Everything Auburn podcast, which we record right here from the Heyday Market on the Plains. I'm your host, Auburn Communications Director Preston Sparks. With this segment, we're going to delve into the many great dining options available on our campus. We have Glenn Loughridge, Director of Campus Dining, with us to detail the wide array of fare available to our campus community. So thanks so much for being here today, Glenn. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for inviting me, Preston.
So let's kick off the discussion by having you talk a bit about your role here at Auburn, how long you've been here, and kind of how you got into such a cool profession focused on one of my favorite topics, food.
Well, I tell you, I've been here for about 10 years now, in my 11th year as the dining director here at Auburn University. It's been a role that I've enjoyed. I love the fact that I get to work with students. I was a student here, so that kind of makes it special for me. I kind of have a worldview of nobody gets their freshman year back. And so I think about that a lot. And so bringing things that are fresh and exciting for students is something that I'm passionate about. I got my own start when I was an undergraduate here. I worked at Callaway Gardens as a banquet server. And so throughout my career, I've had some different roles. I actually started a seafood business in Florida. I was a management recruiting search firm, restaurant manager. So we've done a lot in that industry. So it's been a passion of mine for a long time.
So in your years here at Auburn, tell us a bit about how things have changed in the way of dining on campus. I'm sure it's changed a good bit.
Absolutely. I think, when I was here, if we'd have had barbecue pizza and chicken fingers, I think everybody would have been happy, right? I think tastes have evolved. I think we have a whole generation of students that grew up on the Food Network. They know a lot more about food than maybe we did back in the 90s when I was here. And so I think that's been great. I think that what is expected of a dining program is very different than anything that we would have seen when I was here for sure.
So I'm already starting to get a little hungry about all this talk of food, right? One of the biggest additions to campus recently, I know, is with the new Edge dining facility that's close to Jordan-Hare Stadium. Detail that for us, if you will, a little bit, kind of the offerings of this facility.
The idea behind it was to have this crossroads. It's right in the middle of campus. We've always needed kind of a central place for students to get together, to have enough seats. So we have 940 seats in the Edge. It's a huge dining hall that we have 8 different stations that students can have different experiences at. One of the ways that we really designed it was, number one, we pulled the stations in so that all the patrons have the views. Which is one of the best parts. You get to sit and you feel like you're right in the middle of campus. You get to see what's going on, the white tents going up for game day or just campus life happening all around you. The stations themselves, we made sure that each one of them had something special because for it to function correctly, it's a 2-floor dining hall. And most of the folks that are in dining would say 2-floor dining halls don't work because nobody wants to go upstairs. Well, when you put pizza upstairs, they do. We were very intentional about what we put upstairs. We put pizza, and we have a station that has tacos. We make tortillas in-house, and so that's a big draw for students. And so that helps us kind of load in correctly so that each station has a place for students to go. And then we have a station that's dedicated to eliminating food allergens. So we eliminate the 9 major food allergens in that station. That's another very popular one. So all of those really lend themselves towards a dining hall that allows for a lot of different experiences in one place.
Yeah, I've been to the Edge several times, and it's amazing. All the different variety there is just great. Great place for students, Auburn employees, Auburn fans might just be in town for a game, right? They can drop by.
For sure.
So I'm curious about, what food seems to be the most popular or most ordered on campus?
Well, I can tell you that we had to buy a new pizza oven this year. We're producing about 420 pizzas a day, and we just wore the other one out. Pizza is always going to be kind of the siren song of college students, right? I mean, everybody eats pizza. But like I said before, I think it's really important for each of our stations to have a personality. We have a round grill that we do omelets in the morning, but then we do a lot of stir fry and things like that. That tends to be a feature. We have even our salad bar. We have lettuce that's grown right here on campus, and that's the feature for the salad bar. It kind of makes it special. And so each one of those stations having a personality and having a draw is really critical to the whole thing functioning. We do over 5,000 transactions a day in the dining hall at certain points. We're doing 1,100 to 1,200 in the village. So we've got a lot of different offerings and make sure that we're keeping up with all the traffic.
So now let's talk about some of the sustainability efforts that I know you've helped implement with campus dining. Talk a little bit about that, if you will.
Well, thank you. So Food U is something that we've been a part of from the beginning, and the idea of Food U is just really how do we think about food differently, and so that is really the crux of our sustainability efforts. And one of the first ones was for us to donate food that goes unserved in the dining hall to Campus Kitchens. Campus Kitchens is a totally student-led organization that takes those food donations and then reserves them in meals into the local community. So this is food that doesn't go out on the line, that's in a hot box. We put it into a blast chiller, it gets frozen, it goes to them, and then they distribute it out. And last year we donated 37,000 pounds of food, and they made about that many meals for folks in the community. So that's a huge part. Clearly, we've also been able to invest with horticulture in vertical farms and aquaponics, and that produce comes to campus and our students get to experience it. I mean, I think lettuce in particular is something that's shipped across the country typically, and for students to be able to experience same-day produce is pretty neat.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great example of the land grant mission
For
at
sure.
work. Let's talk a little bit now about the location we find ourselves in. Right now we're recording from the Heyday Market. Can you detail a little bit about how that fits into the overall plan of campus dining?
Absolutely. When freshmen get here, they're going to be looking for the familiar. We have a Chick-fil-A, and lots of people eat Chick-fil-A, and it's very familiar. If you're from the South, it's kind of one of those things that everyone's familiar with. But as students grow, their tastes evolve. Our juniors and seniors typically are the heaviest traffic over here, and it's because their tastes have evolved, and as they've been here, we all kind of go through that. Little kids, they only want to eat chicken nuggets, and then all of a sudden they mix in a few other things, maybe get a vegetable now and again. So that's also kind of the role that Heyday is, this opportunity for them to kind of expand their palate. I mean, this is an outstanding place. The venue itself, all the thought that went behind it, it just really gives us this elevated feel and a sense of place that I think is just outstanding.
Yeah, definitely. I've eaten here quite a few times as well, and the food is amazing here.
Absolutely.
Also. So let's talk now about the overall operation of campus dining on campus. How many folks are involved? Maybe how many pounds of food are produced on a given day?
So there's probably 450 employees within the campus dining family. We have a food service contractor, so there's quite a few folks that work every day that make sure that our students get fed. We do somewhere in the neighborhood of 22,000 transactions a day, so it's a busy place. We're open from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. in the dining halls, and then we have Panera Bread in the library is open later. Some of those options are open later, so we have a lot of traction from that perspective. So, I mean, we're really trying to make sure that students have places to eat all over campus every single day, and so it's a huge operation from that perspective.
Yeah, that's quite a full plate. So looking into the future, tell me about some new offerings. I understand there's something really cool being planned right now.
We're working on in our Foy dining hall. We're bringing back something that we actually developed during COVID. It was called Foy on the Fly, and the premise was that we wanted kind of a touch-free dining option because we had to keep everybody separate. So we brought in warming lockers, and so you would order via app, and then we would create it behind the line, and then it would go into the warming locker, and then the person would come individually to pick that up. The innovation that we're going to bring to that is what we hope will be our first robot on campus. So there is a new system that we've identified that actually uses, it's a robot that they use in car factories that picks up the basket, loads it with chicken fingers or fries, and drops it and cooks and then dumps it into the basket. And so you've got this really cool opportunity for students to see the future. I think that robotics is coming to food service, and it's coming quickly. And so I think it'll be an opportunity for Auburn students to be on the cutting edge of that. We're hoping to have internships with the company called L2F that produces the robots and this whole system. And so I think that's an opportunity for our students to be right there on the cutting edge of what's coming in food.
So the future's here.
Exactly.
I think every time I talk with you, Glenn, there's something really cool underway, something cutting edge, something right, on the cusp of sort of the future.
That's our hope. We want to be right there. We want to be the future of food.
But now the big question, how can our listeners get connected into campus dining and experience the many great offerings on campus?
So we're open every day. If you're here on campus, you're welcome to come to the Edge. We do take credit cards, and we don't bar anyone from any of our restaurants on campus. So visitors are always welcome. We love having parents come in and try things out. We want them to know what their students will be eating. One of the cool things that we do at Camp War Eagle is that we do serve parents and students during orientation in the Edge, so that they kind of get an idea of what that experience will be like. But we're open game days in the Edge, so if you're tailgating and need to grab a bite in between, we have all the stations are open and it's ready to go. So we're here for you. Obviously, Heyday Market is an incredible spot to come by on a game day or just on any given afternoon. So I think, there's a lot here for people to experience for sure.
Anything else you'd like to add for the listeners?
Yeah, I would just say that just continue to watch. We've got more innovations than just the robot coming. We're piloting different things in concessions. We're using a brand new register system called MashGen. In the MashGens, you just set your food down on top of the register, and it scans everything in, and then you just tap your credit card. And so those are being operated now. They're in the two corners of the north end zone. And so we're looking to expand on that. So I have to applaud athletics for really picking a cutting edge technology. And so we're enjoying kind of seeing how those operate. And I think that's really going to be the future for really moving people through lines quickly.
Well, thanks so much again, Glenn, for joining the podcast and enlightening us on all things campus dining. I hope everyone listening learned a few new things and grew their knowledge of everything Auburn. Make sure to check back on our show for future episodes as we continue to look at everything that makes Auburn so special. War Eagle.
War Eagle.